Hey, this is Marthea Pitts, the MSW coach. Real quick, this is in real time, and I wanted to just hit record. This won't be a YouTube video. This is strictly for podcast because I am not camera ready. But I wanted to give an example of how fear shows up. Um, how fear shows up, right? Because many of you think like the things that you're doing, oh, this supports my career goal or my education goal, when really what is happening is it's your fear showing up. So here's a real time example. I just felt compelled to share it in this moment. Also while I am working on some other stuff. So you may or may not know, I am a current PhD candidate and I am in an educational leadership program. So this semester is a semester where I'm supposed to do quite a few different things. And let me back up. The reason I want to share this is because when I was preparing myself professionally, like doing all of my professional development as a case manager with a caseload, all of the things in my cubicle, 120 plus caseload, these are the things that I wanted to know, and I had no one in my immediate circle that I felt comfortable enough going to as an introvert and just an extremely private person. So I had to find other ways to educate myself on working through the thing, right? Also, at the same time, I was on the heels of coming off of several years of really just learning more about me as a human being, um, becoming more in tune with my body. And when I say body, I mean like how my emotions feel in my body, how I know that I am stressed, right? Because when you are a high achieving person, also when you come from a place where I'm gonna just say it. You've been in situations as an adult where your instincts have been like second guessed. It puts you in a situation where sometimes you think you're just being extra, right? All of the things. So I took quite a few years, I would say 5 years, where I really started learning about me and really leaning heavily into my God-given like abilities, right? Because there are things that I know without knowing, and that's because of my faith. But anyway, so I say that to say, and I like to give y'all background, so that's why I always go off and talk about the thing, because I like for people to be clear, right? I don't want to assume. I like to tell you the thing. So anyway, one of the ways that fear is showing up for me right now is I'm in my doctoral degree. I'm required to um, pick my dissertation committee. I'm required to finalize my research area topic, area of interest to prepare for the research proposal phase. And it's Monday morning. This Monday, March 18th, 11:59 a.m. here on the East Coast. It's real time, right? I just read the email. I'm like, let me pop in my earbuds and talk about the thing. So I'm required to do all of this. How fear is showing up for me is that at the beginning of the semester, January 2024, I was going full speed ahead. I had my checklist. I had all of my things lined up. I had meetings with potential people on my dissertation committee, all of the things, right? I was being Miss Pitts, how I show up in my work life. January, a few weeks into January, I found out that someone that I love dearly died. I missed their funeral by a few days. That really like set me back for a few days. And I'm not even going to use, let me correct that language. It didn't set me back. It just paused me for a little bit, right? Then later that month in January, my daughter was hospitalized. This is a child that never gets sick. So she had a situation going on with their tonsils, right? So that required me to go out of town for an emergency appointment, travel 6 hours away from where I live to go see about my baby, right? In the middle of like literally hours after I got the car, I was halfway down the road. I say all that to say that once I started coming down from that, and then also the end of February, middle of February somewhere, my car died, right? So three things back to back, domino effect. Marthea, who leans into her faith, I don't get easily dissuaded. That's nothing, right? That's even even if I did consider it as being something, I still lean into my faith. Those things don't knock me down. However, it did cause me to pause on my dissertation work um, because I was already feeling a little overwhelmed in that whole process because this is such, when you are working on your doctoral degree, it is such an elusive process, right? It's just like with getting a macro job, right? I consider myself as being the person who has demystified getting macro jobs, right? So much so that I did it in my own career 5 times. I've helped over 130 plus social workers and more. That's just since I've been keeping count, get macro jobs. So I've demystified that process. However, for a person like me who's well aware of the fact that I need to have control over situations, I need to know what to expect, how to move, how to plan for the thing, right? And so because I am now embarking on a new journey, and I started this journey in the height of the pandemic of my PhD program, I'm learning anew. So because of that, there's a lot of uneasiness that comes along with it. You could equate it to like being a newborn baby who's learning how to walk, right? Because when it comes to a job, I could tell you how to get a job with my eyes closed, half sleep, because I've done it before with friends, right? So because I'm learning this new process, I'm having to understand how to navigate relationships. In addition to that, I'm doing it all in an online situation because due to COVID, my program thankfully transitioned to being online. However, I originally signed up for the program because it was in person, because I know I'm the type of person that needs to be in person, right? I know my learning style. So because of all of that and all of these different moving parts and me learning a new thing and not knowing, my fear silently creeps up um when I take longer than planned to respond to emails, when I take longer than planned to take the next action, that is my fear. Actually, another way that I know my fear is like trying to get me, that's what I'm going to use that word, is that I actually have a little level of uneasiness every time I go to log into my school email, right? And there's no reason to be that way. My chair is a wonderful look. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better person. She is so supportive. She's so kind and sweet and gentle. But it's a Marthea thing, right? So what I'm unlearning currently is to stop trying to control everything, right? Many of us, including you, are most likely a person who likes to control everything. And when you like to control everything, and when I would hear people say that, you like to control everything, I always took that as a negative thing. But how I've learned control to look like is exactly what I explained earlier. You like to know all of the things to consider. You like to know what's going to help happen. Step A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's me, right? It's nothing wrong to be that way. Um, However, it's dangerous when it gets to a point of stopping you from achieving the goals that you want to go after, right? So I say all of that to say this, and then I'm gonna log off so I can finish my thing, is you have to be cognizant of your fear. You have to understand that fear is a very real thing. Fear will prevent you from hitting apply on those macro jobs that pay $100,000 or more. And I give this talk, I'm considering this a pep talk, but it's a learning lesson. Carry it in your front pocket, because I had this conversation with my cohorts of the Micro to Macro Career Accelerator a few weeks ago. I don't get on Beyonce's internet every day because I like it. I get on Beyonce's internet every day talking to y'all about getting macro jobs because I need y'all to be in these large scale change making roles so you can make it better for my population, pregnant and parenting you. Regardless where you are, you're going to be touching my population. That's my guilty reason. That's my selfish reason. However, at the same time, you're going to make it better for your population and the issues that you want to work on, right? So I say all that to say that the next time that fear creeps up to stop you from applying for those high level jobs, those jobs above $100,000, you need to realize that that is fear. And I'm going to give you a few examples of how I've noticed that fear shows up in y'all, in you. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to nobody else. You. Fear may show up in the fact that when you go to sit down and apply to that job, then all of a sudden you think about the dishes you need to wash, the the card game I'm making up some stuff, the card game you need to play, right? That's fear. That's fear. That procrastination is attached to fear of something, right? Another way that it shows up in what you think is a fruitful activity is where instead of hitting apply on the work or sitting down and thinking deeper about what you want to do, you go and schedule some informational interviews with people to learn about what they do in their job or to learn about their organization. How does that help you? It doesn't help you. It doesn't help you because that's their life. That's their journey. What they tell you cannot help you. What will help you if you sit your butt down. I'm talking to me now too, right? Sit your butt down, Marthea, and respond to the email. The same thing for you. Sit your butt down and hit apply to the job. You can't say you want a thing and then be afraid of it. And also the other thing that I learned after like digging to uncover like, how do I work through this fear? How do I work through this fear when I was a case manager? Fear never goes away. That's the thing. You think the people who are in these high level positions that you hold in high regard, who you consider as goals, um, don't have fear. They have fear. They just have learned how to work through the fear. Fear never goes away, right? Fear will never go away. However, you have to find strategies and techniques to work through the fear, to work in spite of the fear, right? So I'm going to go because I'm going to hit apply, excuse me, not apply, hit send on this email that I need to send and do what I need to do because fear ain't going to get me. It ain't going to get me. Do you know who I am? All right. So I say it like that because you need to talk to yourself. When fear is like, oh no, you need to do an informational call. You need to go to a networking event. Don't hit apply, right? You need to tell fear, do you know who I am? And tell fear to shut up and sit down and do what you said you wanted to do. All right, I'm gonna go because I done spent enough time fool-la-la with y'all on this podcast. I'll talk to you later. Happy macro career planning. Bye.